call it next witness.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen, the jury of the state rests.
Mr. Johnson?
Your Honor, dispense call Deputy Prince.
Good morning. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this cause will be the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Would you state your name, please?
My name is Officer Joanne Knox Prince.
Okay, and Ms. Prince, can you tell the jury you're wearing a distinctive uniform, but can you tell the jury where it is that you work?
I work for the Dallas County Sheriff Department, which you know, and I worked at the North Tower. We have 3 different towers, and I work at the North Tower. That's the biggest jail of all.
Okay, and could you tell this jury how long you've been working over there?
I've been working there for 18 years now.
Okay. What kind of things do you do on a daily basis?
For the most part, the care of the inmates, making sure the safety of the inmates, making sure that they, of course, lunch and the dinner and stuff like that. Just basically just taking care of whatever they pretty much ask us that need to be done for them, that we can do. Only things that fits in there that can be done for them.
And you are, as a sheriff deputy, you are responsible as a detention officer to basically run that floor that you're on. Is
That would be
right?
correct. I'm the floor leader on that floor.
Okay. Tell the jury what's the difference between just a regular correction officer there on the floor and the floor leader. What do you have to do to become the floor leader?
Actually, with the floor leader, we basically make sure, again, just as I stated, making sure that each officer is doing what they're supposed to be doing, as well as myself, taking care of the officers as well as myself. And anything, most of the sergeants, if they need anything, mostly call the floor leader to take care of anything that needs to be done with the inmate or something like that, you know. But that's basically it. But all of us just making sure that we take care, making sure the other officers take care of their duties as well as mine.
Okay. And do you have daily contact with the inmates that are on your floor for supervision?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Let me ask you if in your duties over the last few years, have you had opportunity to come into contact and come to know an individual by the name of Kristopher Love?
That would be correct.
Do you see him here?
Yes, I do.
Could you point him out for members of the jury, please?
That would be him sitting right there with the glasses on.
All right. Let the record reflect the witness identified in the video. Ms. Prince, would you tell the jury how it is that you come to know him? Because obviously he's been incarcerated in the jail.
Okay.
You come to know him as one of his supervising correction officers.
Yes. Again, like I said, I've been there for 18 years, and I've been working TUIs for about 16 of those years. Of 2015, October of 2015, that's when I became in contact with Mr. Love. And from there, until for about 2 years, he was under my care for about 2 years, on my floor for about 2 years.
Okay. And when you say, and let's talk about your floor for a moment. What type of inmates are housed on your floor?
That floor consists of, I have, which is called general population, and it's tanks 1 through 6. And then also I have the SAG tanks, which that's a total of 94, and that's the first floor and the second floor. And those cells consist of single cells. That's what we call single cells. And those inmates are in there by themselves, with no one else, just by themselves.
And when you came to know Kristopher Love, was he in fact housed in one of the single cells?
Yes, he was. He was housed in 2E lower 53. That would be the number that he was in.
2453?
2E lower 53.
Okay. And at the time that you came to know him and he was housed in that cell, did it have anything to do with his behavior in the facility?
No, it didn't have anything to do with his behavior in the facility. It was due to it was a high profile case because his face was pretty much on every local news channel, you know. And so with that in mind, classification had put him in protective custody.
Okay. And so the jail takes a precautionary measure of taking individuals involved in high-profile situations, and they place them in that stricter environment. Is that right?
That would be correct.
And that's not necessarily to protect any of the jailers or the inmates. It could be to protect the person himself that's charged with the crime. Is that right?
That would be correct.
Okay. Well, let me talk to you about this. Did you have an opportunity to come to know the defendant while you were the floor leader on his tank?
Yes, I did.
Could you describe for the jury how your interactions with him occurred?
He was quiet. He slept most of the time. At lunchtime, at feeding time, he would get his tray, and of course, we received a tray back from him. He asked for the telephone. We give him a telephone. Pretty much, he was just quiet. And one of the things were being in those single cells, you have to keep your cells clean. We would go through and he would clean his cell daily, He kept his cell clean and everything. So pretty much we didn't have any problems with him the whole time he was down there.
How about as far as his demeanor and his reactions and his interactions with you? Did he speak with you with respect, or was he ugly to you, or
No.
how did he act?
He was always respectful, Miss. Always Miss Prince, Miss Prince, Miss Prince. I used to phone Miss Prince, can I get my bucket or just whatever, But it was always Miss Prince.
Now, people that are housed over there in the segregation unit do, in this case, the high-profile nature of the case, do they have an opportunity, if they wish to do so, to get your request to be taken off of that?
Yes, they do.
Okay, explain to me how that process might work.
With Mr. Love, he had been with me, again, like I said, right at 2 years. And usually after a high-profile case, within about a year or so, because I do what we call single cell review. That's something that I do every 2 weeks. We have that, along with myself, with a sergeant. He's over it, which he has the last word. So most of the time, I may recommend something, to the sergeant and say, hey, I haven't had any problems with this inmate. Hey, let's just see, hey, if we can try him and see if he can go to general population. And during those times, after Mr. Love had been there for about a year or so, I had asked him, was he ready to go? And he refused a couple of times. And so finally, about 2017, that's when he said, Ms. Prince, I'm ready to go to general population. So what I did, I gave him the paper. He had to read it to understand what it was. Basically, if he go into general population, if anything were to happen to him, Dallas County wouldn't be responsible or anything like that. And he understood that. He signed it. And then what we do, we fingerprint him to make sure. And so after that, I sign it, then I take it to the supervisor sign it, and then we take it to classification, and then classification. Well, I give them a copy too, because everybody wants to be covered to make sure, hey, that this inmate was willing to go to general population on his own. We didn't force him out.
Okay, and again, that is, in this particular situation, that is an attempt to make sure to protect the safety of the defendant, Kristopher Love, is that right?
That would be correct.
Okay. Did you have any concerns whatsoever that he would be a disciplinary or a physical violator if he was to be put into general population with the other people?
No.
Okay. And once this transfer was done, you said originally that you had asked him if he was ready to do it, and at first he said he didn't want to do it, or just, was there any necessity at that time, or was he being disrespectful by not asking to go, or was?
No, he just, after a while, along with him and with other inmates that's down there, after they've been down there for a while, especially if they came in high-profile inmates or whatever, and with him being there the first time, some of them don't know that they can leave and go to general population. So that's my job, to go around and let them know after time passed, say, hey, you think you want to go to general population, and they can say yes or they can say no. And at that time, when I asked him, he just wasn't ready. It wasn't anything, that he had done or anything like that. He just wasn't ready to go.
And have you, in your role as a floor leader for that unit of the Dallas County Jail, have you actually supervised other members of the staff who come into contact with him or did at the time that he was housed in your area on a daily basis? Is that right?
That would be correct.
And in those interactions with other members of the staff that came into contact with him on a daily basis, were you able to form an opinion as to his general reputation amongst staff members there at the Dallas County Jail for being a peaceful prisoner?
He was peaceful. because usually the shift that I work, I come in contact with both shifts. I work second watch, which that's from 6 to 2:30. So I'm able to catch the shift that leaves, and I'm able to catch the shift that comes in. So when we speak about the inmates and who's had bad behavior, good behavior, his name never came up, anything about bad behavior.
And since he followed through and took that transfer that you had with him, and he was sent to general population are a lot of younger inmates, is that right?
That would be correct.
And so, and have you noticed, or do you know whether or not it is true that Chris come back to the Memphis area often?
Yeah, they came back at least once.
And all the take care of the kids, is that right?
Yeah, he took care of the kids. She went to school and she worked.
Okay. And did Chris come back to the Memphis area often?
Yeah, they came back at least once, I would say every 6 weeks. Sometimes it was once a month, every 2 months, like that.
Okay, what was the purpose of them coming back and forth between the Dallas area and the Memphis area?
They came back to see us.
Okay, and brought the kids
And
with
he had Kiara here, so he had to come back to do things for her, like bring school clothes, things like that.
Now, this relationship with Kiara, even though Chris was in Dallas, was it a long-distance relationship, or was Chris doing everything he could to make it a strong, close bond?
No, they were close. She went to Dallas also. He would pick her up and she would go to Dallas with him too. When she wasn't in school, like for Christmas breaks, things like that. So it was close. Still is close.
How was Chris as an adult, as a young adult, how was Chris amongst all the extended family members?
He was close to all extended family members. He had cousins. He has 2 cousins his same age. He was close to them. We had weddings, not family reunions, like dinners and stuff. He participated in all of those. He had cousins, even cousins that were younger than him that he hung out with. So he had a good, close relationship.
And Kim is, jury will meet Kim later in this process, but even now, he lives in a high-rise apartment condo type building, is that right?
Yes, he does.
And are there quite a few of the other families and family members that live in the same building?
Yeah, Casey stays there. We got a niece, 2 nephews. It's a lot of family members staying there. Yeah.
They have their own apartments in this complex.
Yeah, they have their own apartments, but his brother stays there also.
And so, this extended family is very close.
Yeah, everybody has always been really close, yeah.
Now, I started to mention a moment ago that this jury has heard a case that was presented against Chris for a very serious and very bad criminal offense. And we've had many opportunities to talk about this situation, have we not?
Right.
And we pretty much knew that one day we were going to be in this situation where you're going to sit before this jury and talk to them about the life of your son.
Yes.
It's not a situation where you're coming before this jury today to try to say Chris is crazy or he's got something wrong with his head or it's anything like that. He has been found guilty of a very serious and a very horrible situation. And you understand that
Correct.
this jury is about to decide his punishment for that.
Yes, I do.
Knowing that you can never take away the crime that he committed and the harm and the hurt that he has inflicted upon a lot of folks, is there still a lot of good in Kristopher Love?
I think so. Yes.
Tell this jury why you say that, and even though, I know you're his mother, but.
Because he continues to try to protect me and keep everything away from me. I don't know a lot about what happened. He never told me. He continues to talk with his children, Callie, Kamari, and Kiara, as much as he can. And Kiara was having a difficult time in high school. He's been helping her work through her issues with not having him around, her anger, and just basically missing her father. And so he's been spending a lot of time on the phone with me, with Casey, all of us, talking to us about he doesn't want us here and embarrassed for something that he did. He's always taken full responsibility for the things that he's done. He hadn't blamed anybody, and he doesn't want us to see us go through all of this.
Ms. Love, can you tell the jury the impact that his actions had upon your family?
It's been devastating. Nobody can get any sleep. Nobody can eat. We've all been trying to be brave for each other, and it's hard. It's really hard.
And you understand that the questions answered by this jury will determine whether his sentence is a
I
life
do.
sentence of penitentiary or a sentence that would result in his being executed by lethal injection.
I do.
And my question to you, ma'am, is do you feel that if Chris was given a sentence of life without possibility of parole, that he would conform his behavior in such a way that whatever his place is in the community that he would be living in would be one hopefully free of trouble and either discipline or violence?
For all the times that Chris has been incarcerated or in jail, I've never heard of him having any problems, anything. Chris has always been very respectful, and no, I don't see any issues. I think that he's even told me that he's been talking to guys, telling them not to,
Let me stop you right there.
I mean,
Ms. Love, I don't know that I have anything else to ask of you, ma'am. Is there anything you'd like to say before I pass you to the prosecutor?
well, I do feel sorry about the death of the dentist, and I do feel sorry about her family and that they have to go through something like this. And I don't think that any mother should see her child die. I really don't. So, that's it.
That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Ma'am, do you need a break before I ask you a question?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You sure? We can take some time if you need some time.
I'm good.
So my name's Glenn Fitzmore, I'm one of the prosecutors on this case.
Okay.
I have some questions about some of your testimony here and a little bit about your son. I want to start off kind of where they left off. You had said that he has always conformed his behavior in such a way that would keep him free from trouble. Is that right?
I said, yeah, and when he's in prison.
When he's in prison.
Yeah.
And every time he's been in prison, there's been a potential for some sort of parole. Is that right?
Yes.
There's been an incentive because he could potentially get out if he behaves himself for that amount of time.
I suppose so. He's only been in prison one time.
Right. Well, the other times he's been in jail, right?
Right.
Or when he was
Or
or juvenile.
Right. Mm-hmm.
We'll get to talking about those a little more specifically.
Mm-hmm.
If I had asked you on October 1st of 2015, if your son would comport himself in a way that would go and execute her name's Kendra Hatcher, would execute her, would you say that you thought he would be capable of doing that or not capable of doing
Not capable.
that? And you said he's always taken responsibility for his actions, is that right?
Yes, I
Has he
did.
taken responsibility to you for the death of Kendra Hatcher?
No, he said he didn't do it.
Okay, so he hasn't accepted the responsibility for that, is that right?
He said he didn't do it. He said he robbed her. He's taking responsibility for that.
In fact, when you all first heard about this case, and the reports that you were getting back, at least what the family was getting back, was that he wasn't really involved. He wasn't even really there. Is that right?
When we first heard about Chris getting arrested, we didn't know why he got arrested.
Okay.
We didn't know anything.
Okay.
The only thing that we know is from the internet, basically.
Right, but I'm talking about months and months after you've talked to Chris. Okay? Did he ever tell you that he was there?
No, he never told me he was there.
He wasn't telling the family that he was there.
No, he never told the family.
It really wasn't until maybe April of this year that you all got some information that he was actually there.
We got it from the attorneys.
The attorneys.
Yes.
Okay. Up to that point in time, you didn't think he was there, did you?
No.
Now, I want to go back a little bit and talk a little bit about the family makeup. And one thing I don't think we got was Casey. How much younger is Casey than Chris?
3 years.
3 years. And so when you, I think when you said that you entered the lives of Scooby and Keon, they were 5 and 6. 5
and 6, yes.
And you lived as a family unit at least for some time in their formative years. Is that right?
Yes, Scooby lived with us from the time he was 11. He moved from Gary and he lived with us. And Keon went back and forth. Yeah.
Now, Scooby, does he have a job? Right?
Yeah.
What does he do?
He works for a metal fabricator place.
Is it there in Memphis?
Yes, it is.
And has he ever been in trouble with the law?
No.
Never been arrested?
He's been arrested one time.
Never been convicted of felony offense?
No.
Keon, how, does he have a job?
Yeah, Keon is a policeman.
I'm sorry, he's a policeman?
Mm-hmm.
And where is he a policeman?
Memphis.
And has he ever been in trouble with the law?
Not that I know of. No.
Your daughter, does she have a job?
Not right now, no.
Okay. Has she had jobs before?
Yes.
And what has she done?
She worked for AT&T as a technician.
Has she had any involvement with the law, been convicted of any felony offenses?
I don't know. Not any felony, no. No.
Casey, has he had any felony offenses?
No.
No?
Casey has a job too.
Okay. Tell me what he does.
He works at a rice factory.
A rice factory?
Yes.
Okay. I guess y'all produce rice there in
Mm-hmm.
Memphis?
Yeah, they produce a lot of different, everything comes in to Memphis, yeah.
I did not know that.
Mhm.
All right. So when you're, you know, I've listened to some of the jail calls between you and your son.
Yes.
Okay, you know that. I mean, it says it on there that these are being recorded.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe, having listened to those, that you set a standard. Would I be correct in that? That you expect things from your family?
Yes, I do.
And in order to expect those things from your family, I think that you probably set a standard as far as what's right and what's wrong.
Yes.
And did you teach those types of ideals to your kids?
Over and over, yes.
And I'm not just talking about your biological kids. You did that to your stepsons as well, is that right?
Yes, my stepsons are my sons.
Right. And
We don't say sons and stepsons and things like that.
And I'm not going to refer to them anymore as
Okay.
stepson, okay? Because I believe that about you.
Mhm.
And in his way, do you think Kim was the same way as far as instilling ideals and things to his kids?
Yeah, but Kim grew up differently from the way I did. It was 8 of them.
I'm sorry, it was on?
It was 8 of them,
Okay.
so it was different, yeah.
But there was still an expectation in your family that you needed to produce and do right.
Oh, yes.
And he heard those words, your son, Chris.
Oh, yes, yes.
Now, there was a lot of, I've got the school records. There was a lot of skipping of school. I think Mr. Johnson had talked to you about that.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes? I'm sorry.
Yes,
Okay. And those were decisions that he made at that time, was to skip school. And those are some of the reasons why he got suspended. Is that right?
yes,
There's quite a lot. There's some years there was quite a lot of skipping of school.
yes. Mhm.
Do you know what he was doing while he was skipping school?
Most of the time he was at home.
Were you there?
No, I was at work,
How do you know he was at home?
because I talked to him while I was at work.
Would you tell him to go back to school?
Yeah, a lot of times. I think it wasn't, how do I describe? Chris got disenchanted with school because when you're a black young man, they look at your makeup and they expect certain things out of you. And Chris has always been really quiet. He's been smart. He'd answer the questions for the teacher and everything. But they kind of expected him to do wrong. But he didn't.
At the schools you were...
And so he started failing and he got kind of disenchanted and bored with school.
Okay. The schools you were going to, was it a predominantly black school or predominantly white school, or?
In Memphis, in the area he was at, it was blacks, yeah.
Okay. So when he gets to, he was born in 1984, is that right?
Yes,
And that's March 23rd, 1984.
yes.
And Mr. Johnson had talked to you about a juvenile case that he picked up, and it was about a stolen, he mentioned it as a stolen car, is that right?
Yes.
There was more to it than just being in a stolen car, is that right?
How do you mean?
Well, he had a stolen car, and he led from Enterprise Rental, and he led the police on a high-speed chase.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And endangering the citizens of Shelby County.
Yeah.
And he also had a possession of a weapon, a pistol with him at the same time.
I don't know anything about
Commissioner
that.
Roach, I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 385. Are these the findings and recommendations of the referee from the juvenile case involving your son, Kristopher Love?
That's Chris's name, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And do you see where the findings were all the things we talked about, that he was with the theft of a car from Enterprise Rental, evading arrest, reckless endangerment, citizens of Shelby County, and lawful possession of a weapon, to wit a pistol? Do you see that?
Yeah, I see that.
Is that an evidence?
I'm about to offer it right now. We'll offer State's Exhibit number 385.
No problem, Greg.
Say what?
Is this your son? Is this the case involving your son? The findings of your son, the referee made?
Yeah.
We'll offer State's number 385. Okay, so he did have possession of a weapon according to this document, is that right?
According to, yeah.
And this
It may be that's just one of those things I don't remember.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
And we've talked about that. That's why I have some of these documents to maybe try to have.
Okay.
And that's from April 5th of 2001. Would that be about right?
Okay, yeah.
And so at that point in time, he's 17, is that right?
17.
And then I'm going to show you here State's Exhibit number 386 and State's Exhibit number 387. If you look at these two documents, is this a detention order for your son? Is that a yes?
Yes.
Okay. And then 387, is this the modification order that puts your son back in with you?
Yes.
Okay. We'll offer State's Exhibit numbers 386 and 387. Okay. Thank you, Judge. And so it looks like there's a detention order. So at first he was given like a probation with you all. Is that right? Like he wasn't just first put into detention when he first picked up the case. Is that right?
When he was at home before he was tried and everything, is that what you're
Well,
talking about?
before, at first they tried to work with him in the system with you all maintaining custody over him.
Yeah.
But then there were some violations that wound up where he had to be.
I really don't remember. All I remember is he went to juvenile.
Okay.
I really can't.
You don't know how he got
Not really.
Okay. All right. And then, so that, the detention order, they put him back with you all on the 70th day of October 2001. Does that sound about right?
Yes.
You're going to be able to see this man on the TV that's right next to you. Okay, hold on one second. So first, here's the findings. This is State's Exhibit 385, where we had talked about the where the findings of what the child had done as far as being charged in possession of a stolen vehicle, reckless endangerment, and possession of a pistol. You see all that? Is that a yes, ma'am? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. And that was from the 5th day of April, 2001. Correct? You see that down at the bottom?
Yes.
And then here's the detention order of theft of a vehicle that be detained in the court's detention center. You see that?
Yes.
And here's the modification order that says thereby order the said defendant be removed from the Youth Services Bureau and custody and restored to the parents. And that's from October of 2001.
Yes.
Then after 2001, Mr. Johnson had talked to you that he got into some more trouble with a burglary offense. Is that right?
Yes.
And then, one second. And that burglary offense was there in Shelby County.
Yes, it was.
Now, were you involved in that or the proceedings in that in any way?
I went to court.
And he was given probation there as well, is that right?
I believe so.
And when he got out of on probation, that was, I think we saw that was in 2003. Okay. Later in 2003 is when he picked up the the facilitation of aggravated robbery and 2 aggravated assaults. Were you familiar with that case?
What was that for? Where was that at?
Lauderdale County.
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was on in December 30th of 2003. Is that right? You don't.
I'm not
that's-
sure.
Okay.
I'm not
We've already
sure.
seen records of that. That was the offense day. Do you remember hearing about an evading arrest that happened the day before that out of Tipton County?
I know he did evade arrest in Tipton County. I'm not sure the date.
Commissioner Approach, Judge. I'm going to show you State's Exhibit number 388. Okay, and does this also have your son's name on there? His
Yes.
middle name's Liddell, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Love, so you are aware that in Tipton County, he ran from the police, is that right? And then
Yes.
you're witness? Okay.
Ma'am, sorry.
Yes.
This lady is writing it down, so you have to say a yes or a no.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. And then after that time is the next day he gets the Lauderdale County offense. And then it's not until 2004 where he picks up another aggravated robbery. Are you familiar with that one?
Where was that at and what was it for?
Shelby County.
For?
Dollar General.
Okay, I remember that
You
one.
remember that?
Yes.
Okay. And then it's after that is when he goes into the prison system.
Yes.
And then when he gets out of the prison system, then he is arrested again in Dyersburg for another possession of a weapon.
Yes.
Do you have any reason why he has all these weapons?
Do I have a reason why?
Yeah.
Or do I think I know?
Well, has he told you why he's carrying around weapons?
He told me to protect him and his family.
Okay.
But we never had any guns in the house. So,
Is there anything going on with y'all's family that you need protection from that I'm not aware of?
none that I know of. I mean, you know, some people think they need guns, some people think they don't.
And you know it's violation law for him now to own it.
Yes, definitely.
Now, we're talking about how he's smart. He's intelligent. He may not look smart or school smart, but he is an intelligent individual.
Yeah,
And you talked about how who makes up his. How many kids does he have?
Chris, he has 3.
3 children,
He has 3, yeah.
and 2 are in Dallas.
2 are in Dallas, yes.
One's in Memphis.
Yes.
And you talked a little bit about his children here in Dallas and
Yes.
his care for his children in Dallas. Tell me about that.
So he takes care of, he makes sure Kiara gets to school, back and forth to school or daycare. Kiara was born at 5 months, so she was born premature. Not Kiara, Callie, the youngest. So he took care of Kamari and Callie while Rika went to school and worked.
Were you ever made aware that Marika actually gave rights to her children to her mom?
She has a son that has rights. She has a son. That's not Chris's son.
I'm
No.
talking about Kamari and Callie, that on March 28th of 2015, that Marika signed over parental rights to her mom while she went back to school. Her mom's Janice Johnson, is that right?
Right.
Were you made aware of that?
No, I didn't know anything about that.
Okay. Did you know that Marika's mom moved to Dallas?
When? Recently?
No, back in, April 25th of 2015.
No, I didn't know that.
Okay. You didn't know that she was living here?
No.
Do you know that she has a lease that has Kamari and Kelly Love's name on it? For-
Who has a lease? Are you sure that's, she's leasing an apartment for them? Could it be?
For herself, where those 2 individuals are living with her.
No, I don't think so, no.
You don't think so?
Because as far as I know, Rika's mother stays in Mississippi.
Who's Janice Johnson?
I think her name is Janice. I'm not sure her last name. So she may have leased that apartment for them to live in.
But she doesn't stay there? Is that what you're trying
Not that I know of.
No questions?
Thank you, Mrs. Love. You may stand down. You're free to leave the courthouse.
All right, thank you.
Members of the jury, let's go ahead and take our lunch recess. It's almost 12:30. You'll be back in the jury room at